Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Greg Tech New Horizons. Well, it took a little bit of time. I was working on several different things all at once, just so that you guys wouldn't sit there watching me stare at a crafting table. So what I do have is I have all the machine pieces necessary in order to finish this guy right here, the Pyrolyze Oven. The Pyrolyze Oven will complete us a couple of quests. There's, I believe, one in the multi-block goals. There's one in the How to Bio. There's one in the MV quest for getting towards fermented biomass. So yeah, there are those quests done. The other thing I have prepared here is the Advanced Circuit Assembler. That guy will knock out a one of our quests in the HV line. That's this guy right here, getting us towards the stuff we need in order to get to EV and IV circuits. So next up is a CPU using a diamond lens. I think I already have one of those, so we'll have to take a look at that. We're able to use the phosphorus doped wafers that we have, and so we'll be making a few of these chips here. No, not going towards nano CPU wafers, though that would be pretty cool. But yeah, just working on some central processing units, which we will need for these integrated processors. So there is that. The other thing that I have prepped is the stuff that we finally need in order to upgrade our dark armor. I've got plenty of ores over there grinding away because I just finished making the HV miner and I pulled up this gold, so all 9 of these chunks are now completely clear of any kind of ore. So that's a big deal. It does mean that I have way more iron than I will need for a while. I'm sorting through what I'm going to do with the various bits of it so that I can put it through the processing. Something to definitely try and automate later on once we can filter out what things we want to go where. But here is our pulsating crystal made with a diamond and some pulsating iron nuggets. Easy. There's an experience rod. We aren't going to get, I don't think we get a quest complete for that, but what we do get a quest complete for is putting it with some energetic alloy plates. I did go ahead and smelt up. I did a thing of 27 of it so that I used up all of the materials for the other dusts that you need in order to make that, and then I just basically put it all together, and so there is our Experience Obelisk. Now the reason I went for the Experience Obelisk is, of course, because I can come in here and I can I can store all of my experience, and then as I'm upgrading armor, I don't have to worry about it using too much, because as you know, it's an increase in levels, and if it just takes 10 levels and does it by level and not by experience amount, you're wasting a lot of XP depending on how high of a level you are. So with that done, I am now able to, I can take these guys, and I need to make an anvil. I used my previous anvil in the making of the basic forge hammer, so I'm going to need to make one more of those. Whoops, don't need to wear those yet. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get an anvil made up. We can slap it down, and then we can upgrade this armor, and then we can take a trip to a lich tower and take out a lich. So I'll see you guys back here in just a bit. Alright, there we go. Made my anvil. Didn't take very long at all. And now we can go ahead and put in these guys. So I'm going to need 10 levels each time. So let's go ahead and grab out 10 levels. See, it went from like 34 to 32. What was it? Yeah, 34, 10 levels, only 32, as opposed to 10 levels right off the top. So definitely a good thing to do this way instead. And of course that number will keep decreasing because it's not exponential, but it's definitely an increase each time. So there we go. Now the only problem with this is the fact that when I wear these boots, even though they'll be empowered and stuff, I don't have, like, I don't think I have step up. So it's going to be a lot more of me jumping and things along those lines. So I am going to take the time. I'm going to slap these guys into some machines and get them charged up, and then we'll be ready to go. See you back here in a bit. Alright, I'm here in the Twilight Forest now. I've got my full set of dark armor on. I refilled up my fuel in my copter pack, and now I've got my map, and I'm going to go ahead and fly over to this one lich that is just to the northeast of the portal, and go ahead and try to take him out. So I'm going to fly over there. I'll see you guys here in just a minute. I do have a potion of regeneration as well as the regeneration buff, which is only going to be for another 30 seconds. So hopefully I can get over there quickly and we can take out this lich. Alright, well, here we are. Sorry about the copter pack noise, but we're at the lich's tower, and I'm up here by the lich thing. I seem to recall that if we break some of these blocks, silverfish might spawn. Because they don't want you to actually do it this way. They want you to, like, climb the tower. Maybe it's only the stone walls that have that problem, but yeah, here we go. Digging our way in. Am I, like, just on the edge? I feel like I'm on the edge of the wall or something, and that's why it's not breaking through. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. It's just a big roof, that's all. Let's see here. Okay, we'll go with this one right here. We'll see if that's far enough in then. And let's see what happens. I'm all nervous. As you guys know, I don't really care for fighting the lich, but got to do it at some point so that we can progress in magic. And so here we go. Oop. That was not so good. Oh, that's interesting. Half of his castle is missing, or a chunk of his castle is missing. Let's see if we can get him to come back up here or something. Where'd he go? Come on, dude. Where are you? Oh, you're all the way down there. Okay. You gonna teleport up here, please? No? Okay, maybe I'm just gonna have to fight him out on the ground and stuff. That's alright, I think. I don't have a problem with fighting him out and about as opposed to stuck in this small room. It does count no matter what, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. Float on down. Here we go. And yeah, let's see if we can... see if we can get him to die. Okay. That thing sometimes used to be... Yeah! That's right. Used to be that the, magic, correct. Your magic wand would be able to kill them. It seems that is still the case here. So let's see if we can get this guy. Nearly dead just from fire, but yeah, we build ourselves a lich. Got a couple of pieces of armor, but most importantly, we got our lich trophy. We got a yellow heart. We got our scepter of the Twilight. I think he drops 4 different wands, but yeah, that's just one of them. So excellent. Oh. And I died anyway. So anyway, I'm going to make my way back to this area, get my loot, and I'll see you guys back at base. Alright, there we are, back to base. I only died the one time, and then was able to get all of my stuff and put it back on and rush back and head on through the portal and back home. So there we are. We only got 1 lich bone. That might be an issue. I think I need 2. So that's kind of terrible loot. I am going to have to apparently go take on at least a second lich in order to get a second lich bone. So that's going to be fun. At least I did again verify that you can take the iron capped wand and you can smack the lich in order to drop his shield. And then once you've dealt with the zombies that he spawns, you can just, you know, basically melee him down, or probably even crossbow him down at that point. So yeah, all in all, it was a decent little fight. I didn't have a problem until after I died, where I got, you know, well, a couple of times I was set on fire, but most of the deaths were, or most of my loss of life was either from burning or from the book that came down afterwards and was messing with me. So yeah, I'm going to have to go get a second one, so I'll probably do that off camera so that you guys don't need to watch me probably die again. I do still have some potions of regeneration from opening some of these loot bags. I've got a 2-minute one there. I think I've got some longer ones in here somewhere, maybe not. But yeah, I am going to take care of that stuff, and then, oh yeah, there's a couple more there. I may make a brewing stand and upgrade those to the longer ones. I think there's a longer version, not just 2 minutes. I could be wrong. But yeah, that way I can stay alive for longer, and we'll see you guys upon my return. Alright, well that fight didn't go nearly as bad as I had expected. I still forgot to eat. I brought both a potion of regeneration and a Meat Fest pizza, and while I was breaking through the roof, he spawned. So I just hopped in and started the fight. If you don't deflect his green orbs, he doesn't spawn his weird magical adds. If you just, like, you know, left click on him with the wand, you'll knock out his shield and basically bypass the entire part of that. One thing it doesn't do is it doesn't stop him from spawning his zombies. One of them is right there in the floor. I think it's a little taller, and it can't get up the half steps to get up here, which is really funny to me. So yeah, it wasn't a terrible fight. Before I left, I went ahead and gave myself, well, not gave myself, I was working on getting enough lapis to get a fortune 2 and a looting 2 on my axe that I've been using, and that got me 5 lich bones this time. So more than enough to make both wands, both an iron capped followed by a gold capped wand, and this time I got a zombie scepter instead of the scepter of Twilight. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff back to base. This was the lich that was, yeah, here almost straight east from where home is, home being that knoll that's 2 zones over there. So yeah, I'm going to head back home, and we'll see you guys back at base, and we'll get started on a little bit of magic, and then look at some automation. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, well, I went ahead and I crafted up the iron-capped Greatwood wand, and then now that we have one that can hold 50 power, I'm also wearing my 3 pieces of thaumaturge set. Now that we have that, I can put this guy in here, and then we can have our gold-banded Greatwood wand, giving us 2 wands that'll hold 50 viz. The only difference being that the iron capped one has an extra viz cost even when I'm wearing my my 3 pieces here, which will give me a 5% discount. And then, so now all that's left is to charge up this new wand, and then we can put it to use. These 2 quests are nothing more than checkbox quests. Once you have your stainless steel screws and your 4 lich bones, it's just a checkmark quest and then a second checkmark quest. I guess figuring out whether you've made the wand or not, it might be a little too difficult for it or something, so they just have it as checkboxes, expecting you to make them simply because you're going to need the extra viz in order to continue on, such as making our fusion altar, getting the goggles of revealing to give you yourself that extra 5% there. Requires 30 each, and even if you had a gold capped standard wand, it only drops it by 5%, so you're looking at like 1.5 stuff off. So yeah, you have to get this 50 viz wand to do that in order to get the further decreases. So now that that's done, next I can next magical progression type stuff I can look at is getting ourselves a fusion altar set up, getting ourselves the goggles of revealing, and then looking at maybe getting some of the research done to be able to bottle a node and bring a node back. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we can get into like things like the enchanting table and then possibly making a silky jewel, although I don't usually use silky jewels. It helps with glass type objects, but otherwise not really needed in this pack from what I've seen throughout my playthroughs. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and disappear. I am still working away. You can see right here there's the autoclave that I was using to get more lapis so that I could increase the luck on my desolation axe there. So yeah, and then of course the basic sifter doing even more. Anyway, the next set of stuff is going to end up being getting some automation up and running. The other part of that is I would like to get to the distillery tower, but in order to do that, we're going to have to progress through the making of the EV circuits over this way. And so I do have them on my list right here, these guys, so that I could make some of these circuits. I'm going to progress through it kind of slowly. It's rather boring. It's just, sitting there staring at a machine waiting for quite a bit. These guys, of course, all have to be done in the clean room, so I'm just going to go ahead and get those built and progress through that set of quests. And then when we come back, we can take a look at what order we want to do things in. I am torn between whether I want to get the vacuum freezer. The vacuum freezer is huge. So I do want to get that. It would mean we can start progressing on coils and making some extra canthal. The extra canthal I need if I want to make the advanced extruder in order to make the tin cans of food. So yeah, we'll see you guys back here in a bit once I figured out how I want to work through things. All right, I think I figured out what order, at least for a little bit, of a few things that I want to make is. The first thing I want to start off with making is I set up the stuff to make an advanced lathe. Now the reason for the advanced lathe is it's the only way to be able to make these 3 plates here into lenses that I need for the clean room. The problem I have right now is that I only have the MV or the LV lathe, and the MV lathe is required power-wise in order to convert these guys into their lenses. The other thing that I am working on is there's the quest in HV in order to make an HV energy hatch. So what I want to do is I want to make the freezer, the vacuum freezer first, and then I want to use the vacuum freezer to make some of the other ingots and things to get stuff either overclocked a little bit better or just lower the power requirements a bit more, because we'd be moving up to the nichrome coils. but nichrome requires an HV energy hatch. Now, if you look at the quest text here, it says you'll need to make either helium coolant cells or the sodium-potassium coolant cells using a fluid canner. And it says you'll need a clean room, a vacuum freezer, and new coils. Well, that's not exactly true. There is a path using carbon monoxide and sodium hydroxide and some sulfuric acid in order to get the liquid sodium that you mix with rock salt in order to get the sodium potassium for these 60K sodium potassium coolant cells. I want to make 2 of them. One, because I need 2 to upgrade the EBF to basically EV power. And then the third one, because you get 1 as a quest reward, can go to the vacuum freezer in order to do the next set of stuff that we want to do. So with all of that done, or once all of that is done, because I have been smelting up aluminum so that I can make these 17 frostproof machine casings. Using one of those, I've got to make some HV pumps, and then we can make the input and output stuff, and I will have a vacuum freezer ready to go. So the first thing that I want to do here is I want to make 2 of these sodium fulmate, which is 1 carbon monoxide, 3 sodium hydroxide in a chemical reactor. So I can just drop those things in. Bam, there's 2 sodium fulmates. Then with a circuit of 1, I can take the sulfuric acid, I can dump in those guys, and I get out formic acid, but the formic acid is like a side thing. I don't even care about the formic acid. It's something that can be used later on. What I want is this sodium sulfate dust, and then I can take the sodium sulfate over to this electrolyzer, along with 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we go. Now we've got our 2 cans of sodium, and then we can take both of those in a distillery with the liquid sodium and the rock salt and get our sodium potassium. So here we go. What does that show? Oh, that's just showing the fluid canning, which we are going to have to do here shortly. So, all right, so here we are. I can wipe that out for now. I drop in my 2 rock salt. I put in my 2 liquid sodium, and it will pump out 2 of these guys. And I don't want you to auto output. I mean, I don't think it matters that much. I still need to get it and then put it in the fluid canner. But yeah, I don't think I can just click it into those, which I cannot. So I'll take one of these over here. And which one is my fluid canner again? Ooh, do I have a fluid canner? That's an interesting question. Now that I have this, I don't know that I have a fluid canning machine anywhere. It might be one machine I haven't had the need to make. I've got a brewery, forge hammer, extractor. I don't think I've ever had a need to make a fluid canner. Mixer, no. I have a fluid extractor, but no fluid canner. Okay, well, it looks like I've got another machine I need to make, but at least I do have that path that I was able to take in order to make these things of sodium potassium. I just need the fluid canner to put them into the cells, and then we can use those cells in order to make a couple of MV or HV energy hatches. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and, while we're offline, I'm going to go ahead and make up the vacuum freezer, make up the input and output stuff, and I am going to build it over here next to the HV line so that I can just grab a couple of blue alloy wires, wire it in, and then we can get to town on nichrome. But the other thing I have, since I did get my 50 Viz gold capped wand, there is my runic matrix. Now that chewed up a lot of stuff there. So the next thing that I need to make are 6 of these arcane stone blocks. It takes a while working with the Viz mushrooms and getting it made, so I'll make that offline and that will end up completing under Novice Thaumaturge our fusion task. And then the last thing is just having enough of the arcane, not the arcane pedestals, but these blocks in the right setup in order to right click it with the wand and get the actual infusion altar up and running. So I'm going to do that also off camera, and probably in the next video you guys hopefully will see some kind of like magic area where we can work with our canisters here, or our warded jars here, and we can have it suction and be useful with a with that infusion altar. And then one of the things I want to do once I get all of that up and running is I want to make that what is this guy called? A repairer? No, not a repairer. Restorer, I think. Yeah, I want to make this thalmic restorer. That is on my list of stuff to make, and the whole reason for making this guy is I want to get into the bees, and I have that mutagenic frame that gets the really good kills them really quick and has really high mutation rate, but it's only got a durability of 3, so it'll be nice to use it, put it in the restorer, get it back up and running, and then go right back into using it. Yep, that's what I thought. It is another blood moon, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Like I say, off camera, I'm going to work on the infusion altar. I will be working on the vacuum freezer. It's just a bunch of building stuff we've already seen before, so no one wants to stare at a crafting terminal and get that stuff up and running. And then you can see I've got quite the list of things that I want to build, some of it for automation, some of it for progress, but we'll see you guys back here in the next video. Till then.